Alright, hello everybody, welcome to tonight's edition of OCS Top 4 Play. I am Taco Bill Kafer here, bringing you Justin Branch versus Chris Hall in the top 4. This is our second top 4 matchup. We've already seen Matt Harrison Trainer defeat Charlie Arlinson by 10, and I believe they're playing later tonight, their second game. Right now we're waiting for Jokerking to get ready and join. And we'll see what's going on. Justin is the higher seed. He's elected to play Dark Side first. I see people starting to filter in. If somebody could tell me if you can hear me, that would be great. Alright, there we go. They're all joined up, and we'll see what we got. Alright, so as I said, Justin Branch here is the higher seed. He has chosen to play Darkside, has chosen to play ISB Operations. Chris Hall, or Jokerking as you may know him here, chosen to play Quimunning. I think that's going to be an interesting matchup here. I know it's a matchup some of us, in our team chat we've talked about ISB versus Communing a lot, especially leading up to Worlds. We were of the opinion that ISB had the advantage here, but there are certain cards you can play in the Communing deck that can swing that, and we see one immediately with Chris choosing to start, don't do that again, immediately suspending mobilization points. So Silverglen's not going to be able to get his Executor out right away, even if he does find the other pieces. Cool. I appreciate that you guys can hear. And thank you for joining me while I stream. Alright, so pretty typical starts here for Silverglen with the ISB, starting Endor Shield, mobilization points. Imperial Arrest Order will likely be running Admiral Piet, Commander Merrick to pull out systems, most notably Bespin and Kashyyyk. Bespin so we can play a free Executor, probably runs 2 to 3 copies of the They Must Never Again Leave the City, and 4 to 5 copies of We Must Accelerate Our Plans to Find It. But we see that's already been thrown off, as Jokerking has chosen to start Don't Do That Again, Walkling, and Sator. Sator Kalfas for matching weapons. It'll be interesting to see what kind of activation package he puts together. I know Master Qui-Gon here, the site you start with this allows you to grab the Theed Palace Generator out of your deck. So definitely we'll be running that, most likely. Probably a package of we still got a Grand Army to get both the Battle Planes and the Boss Nash Chambers. Probably a Speak with the Jedi Council, or 4 to get a Jedi Council Chamber. So I think the start of this game is going to depend on who finds activation first. In Jokerking's case, it's to, kickstart his activation. In Silverglen's case, it's to get enough activation to get somebody into space to unsuspend mobilization points. So it looks like he deployed Kashyyyk from hand. He's used 4 force. I'm trying to figure out where the third one went. Oh, sorry, the other one is an Imperial Command. So Kashyyyk from hand, Bespin from deck with Merrick, who he deployed, Ozzel to back him up. I mean, that's a pretty good start. If he had mobilization points in play, he could have an Executor by turn 2, as long as he had the They Must Never Again Leave the City, and would be activating 10 already. Instead, he's at 8 and no Executor. Alright, so Jokerking will have his first turn here. Now that we've started up, I can do this. Alright, so immediately going to use the commuting text to move those cards around from the top of his force pile. If it's a card he likes, he'll throw it to the bottom. If it's a card he doesn't need, he'll leave it on top. I'm going to go turn on the light I forgot to turn on. Alright, so the Boston Ash Chambers from hand. I'm pretty sure I saw him play a Wisa early to go grab that. So we knew we had that. And then has a speak with the Jedi Council as well. It does look like the Council Chamber is in there. He's just taking an extra look to see what else is in there that he might need. It'll be interesting to see how fast he goes here. He could conceivably throw down the Theed Palace Generator and something like Luke, or maybe a Yoda out of the Council Chamber and get started draining. The ISBs we've seen recently are more space focused. They don't really have a lot of stuff that can attack you on the ground, and if they do, it's generally going to be via a walker. But he doesn't. He just draws a couple cards this turn, which is also a good strategy. Saves 1, so probably if he did move it, I'm not sure if he moved it or not. Oh, he also, I'm so used to playing the Yoda version, he also used the Master Qui-Gon's text to draw that card that was on top of his force pile, so it's entirely possible that's where the speak came from. Alright, so Silverglen gets 8 on his turn 2 here. His focus is likely to be on getting into space quickly, the same way that Joker King's focus is going to be on getting onto the ground quickly and causing damage. Uses a rest order to get a spaceport docking bay, which goes to Kashyyyk. Nope, to Naboo, excuse me. So this is at Naboo. Has Tarkin's Bounty to go through his deck. That's another way he's going to be able to, with the combination of those two things, he's going to be able to see if the Executor's in his force pile, and then Tarkin's Bounty at the right time to potentially take it into hand. Or maybe he lucked out, got it in his hand, and just needed to find They Must Never Again Leave the City. Something like that. Joker King preemptively pulling the Goldenrod Shield here too. Alright, so here comes Callus to the docking bay. That's interesting to me, and I will tell you what he flipped in a second. But interesting to me that he is choosing to go to ground here first. It may just be that Callus was looking for cards. The two cards he did flip over with Callus when he was deployed were an Accelerate and that Executor, which you see he chose. He played the They Must Never Again Leave the City. Goldenrod was already out, so Executor is going to cost 2 to come out. I thought it would be interesting if he didn't find the Executor. It seemed like he was going to docking bay transit over to that docking bay and start to set up a little bit of damage. I mean, just 1 right now, but could be more in the future. And then he found the Executor, so it's moot. Does transfer over Ozzel to the Executor. Alright, Joker King's turn 2 here. He gets 13 force to work with, plus the 1 he saves, so 14 total. There is that Luke that I was talking about. He might have on turn 1. He has it on turn 2. So Luke to the docking bay. Not worrying about grabbing the 2/2 for now. I think that's probably the right play, even though you're paying a couple extra force here. Just because if you allow Silverglen to take over that docking bay, he gets to make all of your drains on Naboo -1. And so this way he kind of preempts that and gets to control the tempo of the ground game. So Luke cost 6, Rey followed for 5. He's grabbing a card out of his use pile now. Alright, has his card, has 3 force left, has a Luke from hand, or Luke's lightsaber from hand, so potentially the card he got, maybe he already had that. We'll use Quimunning now to peek at the card. Does move it to the bottom and then uses Ray to draw. So showing the power here between Ray and Master Qui-Gon, he'll be able to grab 2 cards out of that force pile every deploy phase. It will cost him 1 card, so net 1 card. But he can also draw an extra card with Ray on his opponent's turn. So a lot of force pile manipulation in the future, a lot of moving cards around. We'll have to keep an eye on time, as all of those are small little things that take a little long. Alright, so that was the end of his turn. He just drew that last card and that was it. Excuse me. Silverglen's going to have 11 force this turn to play with. Joker King does pull Battle Plan, so if he does want to drain for 1, it's going to cost him. Chooses not to. We'll go ahead and find another docking bay, probably Death Star 2 docking bay. Has Churnu, so that's going to allow him to bump up his damage a little bit, doubles it for the moment, and then if he gets another Star Destroyer to Kashyyyk, that could get him some extra damage there too. Poultreatum comes down. That will flip his objective. That's his 4th ISB agent. You see the 3 at the docking bay plus Ozzel. It's also going to allow him to grab a card out of his use pile. So always replaces himself and then replaces himself again when he dies. Great character. Also forfeits 7. Stupid good. Joker King using his Quimunning peak right now. He does get to get 1 more card with Ray. So this lets him filter it a little bit. Now Silverglen down to 5 cards in hand is going to move the Executor over to Kashyyyk to make that drain of 2 become a drain of 3. Barring anything from Joker King. And then because he only had 5 cards in hand, he's going to draw a couple extra here. So draws 4 cards, saves 1, and will end his turn. Alright, Joker King with 15 total to work with, 14 this turn and 1 he had saved. Silverglen has a Death Squadron assignments. That's going to allow him to get a card with Death Squadron in lore. In this case, he's chosen Blizzard 8. So that makes me think he already has another Star Destroyer in hand. I would think that would be the quickest way to damage. The Blizzard 8 makes me think that he, in addition to having a Star Destroyer in hand, he could come down to the docking bay in the near future. Joker King choosing to pay 3 to drain for 2 at the docking bay. Silverglen losing Captain Jonas and Agent Callus, both ISB agents from hand. 1 already on the table, 1 deemed not needed and useful for retrieval. Sator will get Anakin's lightsaber for Rey, so that'll bump that drain up to 3, unless Silverglen does something about it. General Kenobi comes down. Along with Reflections 3 version of Obi's lightsaber. That adds to a drain at a Naboo battleground, which we're at. You get to add 1 when swinging at a Dark Jedi. Probably won't matter so much this game, but Vader's in the deck somewhere. We'll use his Communing Peak and then draw a card with Ray. So it must be what he was looking for. It's interesting to see that he's just choosing to set up one big drain. I think that's kind of been dictated by the game flow, right? So like normally I'd expect him to go pretty light to the 2/2 and pretty light to the battle planes. Well, maybe not so much the battle planes, but a little lighter to the ground and spread out and try to get multiple drains in. But because Silverglen played that docking bay, he signaled he was ready to come to the ground early. And so I think piling on this docking bay, not worrying about the 2/2 for the moment, is the right play. He just has to be wary of something like Enter the Bureaucrat now that he's training for 4. That could shut his damage down real quick. So I don't know if he's running like a control to stop that or anything, or if he's going to choose the drain for just 2. I don't think so, just because he did pull those 2 extra lightsabers. And then on the flip side, we know that Silverglen pulled Blizzard 8 last turn. He's already got Callus out, one of the bigger hitters. Pull Tratum is one of his biggest, one of the best cards to lose from a drain or from a site for battle damage, because he forfeits for 7 and then also gets to replace a force. Interesting here from jokerking, he did start Don't Do That again. It wasn't just to stop mob points, he's also running a Vergence in the Force, which he's pulled. Thank you, Adam. I do forget text of cards sometimes. So he did say that Enter the Bureaucrat would not affect that drain because it is Silverglen's site. Vergence in the Force, however, will affect that drain on Kashyyyk. So after paying to drain for 3 and jokerking losing 3 cards, he's going to play Vergence to cap that drain at 1. So kind of a big blow there. That was supposed to be, a drain of 3 for the foreseeable future. Now it'll be a drain of 1 for the foreseeable future. I'd expect Silverglen to move the Executor back to Bespin and continue to drain for 2 over there until he finds another ship. So what do we see here? We saw Corporal Vandalite come down for 2 force to the docking bay and take Pole Treatum back into hand. And then Pole Treatum to the docking bay, the other docking bay. So we got another card in hand. So he's able to turn the 1 Vandalay in his hand into 2 new cards. Alright, and then transits Pole Treatum, Agent Callus to the Death Star 2 docking bay. So setting up a 2 non-battleground docking bays. Alright, so they're going to revert here for a moment to move the Executor over to Bespin. I believe. Jokerking pulling Simple Tricks and Nonsense that will prevent Silverglen for the moment from retrieving with the objective. The Executor does move to Bespin. Alright, so it seems like Silverglen kind of has to bide his time here to get enough onto the table to try to contest that site, which is currently the only battleground site on the table. And in the meantime, he's taking 4 damage a turn, so that's kind of rough. So another Death Squadron assignments from Silverglen. We'll grab Vengeance this time. Joker King has 14 active this turn. Had 2 saves, so 16 total to play with. Using Quimunning here to peek at that top card. Maybe move it, maybe draw it. Is going to use Master Qui-Gon to draw it. He's also going to draw the bottom card. We'll spend 3 force. He's going to drain for 4 at the spaceport docking bay. So let's see, lateral damage, Admiral Piet, both from hand, Guri and Death Squadron assignment from reserve deck. Luke gonna look for a force projection, which he does not find, but just checking out what's going on in that reserve deck. Maybe looking for Yoda. Maybe check and see if Mace Windu's Saber was in there. So Mace Windu comes down for 7 force. Not a pilot, so not +1. Silverglen plays and I Can't Shake Him to get an Imperial aboard his ship. Who would we be looking for here? Maybe Goddard, maybe Wolf. Yeah, Wolf seems like a good bet here. Two force for Colonel Wolf. Colonel Wolf will then activate 4 force. And that's interesting. I didn't actually know you could deploy him to a starship site. I learned something today. Alright, there's Mace's Saber. Silverglen pulling Come Here You Big Coward to prevent Joker King from being able to retrieve for the moment. Alright, so just Mace this turn, and then Joker King will draw a couple cards. Silverglen was able to activate a couple extra force via deploying Wolf. Alright, so Silverglen activating 14 force this time, now that he's got mob points active. That's why he moved over to the other docking bay. That makes sense now. 14 force plus the 4 he got from Wolf. That gives him enough to drain for 2 at Bespin. We saw Joker King play a Wisa to get battle planes. It's likely the card he put back with Qui-Gon last turn, so just an extra way to gain a card and then throw away a card you don't need. Blizzard 8 comes down to the Executor docking bay, along with General Navarre. I think you're going to see everybody get on board, assuming it has capacity. 1 pilot, 8 passengers. Yeah, so I think you'll see everybody get on board. I think Silverglen will be content with the Power 8 and 2 Destiny against Power 21 here. Tarkin comes down as well. Tarkin will actually allow him to draw a card because he's down to 5 cards. And I expect to see everybody move over to the Spaceport Docking Bay. What that will do is block a drain of 5, as well as give Silverglen a second battleground so he's able to retrieve an ISB agent. Maybe not this turn because he's only got 1 force. Oh, just kidding. He doesn't have to pay for anything, so maybe this turn. It'll be interesting to see if Joker King, who's been able to, go through his deck a decent amount with Qui-Gon and Rey, to see if he is playing something like an under attack. Under attack would need what? It's armor 6, defense value 6. So you need to draw 4 with under attack. That's certainly doable. Yeah, and there's everybody. So 8 power. I'm not even going to try to think about forfeit. But 2 Destiny because of Callus, who's on there somewhere. And then also cancel a Destiny with Tarkin. I don't believe that's during battle, right? During battle, yep. So I can't cancel the under attack Destiny if we've got one. That is 4 lightsabers. But yeah, so with 6 armor here, you're vulnerable to under attack if you're playing that, if Joker King is playing that. You're also somewhat vulnerable to Leia's gun, though you have Tarkin to cancel that Destiny. But if we see Leia come down, I expect that she will have a gun. And you could potentially use Sorry About the Mess to fire during the control phase, which Tarkin can't cancel either. So a couple things can threaten you there, but otherwise you're pretty good. You are outpowered 21 to 8, like I said. But everybody on here, there's multiple 7 forfeit guys on here and a couple 6 forfeit guys too, so wouldn't worry about that power difference too much. Rebel leadership's in play with General Kenobi at the site, so we'll see what happens this turn. It's going to be a big turn. Alright, so activating 15 force. Had 1 saved. Solo comes down, so now 2 Battle Destiny to 2 Battle Destiny. But that means no under attack, so that's good. Padme comes down. Padme's going to add a Destiny to attrition. And with 2 Destinies, it won't get canceled, so that's good. I would be slightly worried about an Imperial command limiting Joker King to 1. That 1 Destiny getting canceled by Tarkin. And Padme fizzling. That could happen. Trying to deploy the 2/2, the generator. It was not found. I suspect it is in Joker King's hand, but he was checking out his destinies. Luke's bionic hand came down too. I don't think we've seen anything go lost that's really big. I think it's two Whises in there is the biggest thing. This, however, Chewie with Bowcaster, pretty big here. Able to swing at Blizzard 8. One of those destinies would get canceled via Tarkin, but if he can draw a 7, that would be kind of ridiculous. Joker King. Nope, excuse me. Silverglen tried to play I Can't Shake Him to make weapons cost an extra 1. But that was sensed. And it was successful. So that will be cancelled. While Joker King will have to lose 2 force, losing Yoda, which he drew for Destiny for sense, and quite a mercenary from his use pile, as well as the sense itself. So we're going to pulling out Oppressive. He did lose that. I Can't Shake Him. Alright, so we have a very big battle. We've got Alter Friendly Fire, which is probably my least favorite card, because you can use it offensively like this. And you can use it on people in a ship. Or in a vehicle. So, how many characters are there? That doesn't matter, it's a 1. 1 is less than the number of characters there, so Silverglen will choose one of those characters to be lost. I imagine it's going to be... Shoot, I don't even know. It can't be Navarre. Navarre is piloting the walker. So you just lose Merrick there. Yeah, Merrick's only 4'6". Alright. Currently both sides drawing 2 destinies, but that could change. Silverglen lamenting the fact that he will need to be clicking very perfectly as he forfeits a lot of dudes out of here. Currently it's 37 power to 8. 2 destiny to 2 destiny. I don't see anything being played currently. Okay. I found another reason to hate this card. So Solo is going to play that same Alter Friendly Fire a second time to remove somebody else. Draws a 5, and there are 6 characters there, so that will be successful again. So there's 2 guys lost immediately. So now I think you actually have to lose one of your 4'7" guys. Yeah, Colonel Wolf goes away. Alright, so this is starting to look worse and worse here. Luke's Biotic Hand will exchange a card in hand with an interrupt in lost pile. So it throws Clash away, gets that sense back. Unlikely to be able to use Clash with the vehicle. And even though you'd have to lose 2 force and the sense again, it's going to be key to cancel something, I'm sure. Maybe a command. Alright, so Silverglen shuffled his deck with mob points. Padme is going to add a destiny to attrition. Here comes command to add 1 battle destiny. So trying to get to 3. So successfully adds a destiny. So 8 power and 3 destiny for Silverglen. 37 and 2 and an attrition for Joker King. Chewie now trying to swing at the walker. Draws a 4, which will go through. And a 4, which will get cancelled by Tarkin. So that will miss. Draws Leia's rifle for battle destiny. So that's a 3. Draws a 4 for second battle destiny. So total battle destiny of 8, which is at least 2 guys. Silverglen drawing a 5. That will get redrawn. 5. That will stand. A5. That will stand. And a 5. That's pretty good, especially for an ISB deck that has like 20 characters sometimes, or at least 20 nouns. So total battle is 15. So Joker King will be facing down 15 attrition. His Destiny 2 attrition was a 4. So that gives him a total of 11, but the power difference is going to be bigger than that. 22 power difference. Oh, Pull Treatum will subtract from the attrition as well, so only 9 attrition. But 15 for Joker King is going to be General Kenobi, who gets stacked on Quimunning. And I can see it being like solo. He's already used his once per game. That extra Destiny is not as important as some of the other characters there. On the flip side, 22 attrition is 4 guys by my count. I'm pretty sure nobody is forfeit 8. So Treatum went first for 7. Gets to draw top card of reserve because he doesn't want to draw and accelerate. Oh, Joker King choosing to forfeit Mace Windu and keep solo there. Maybe that extra Destiny is important. I mean, there's a reason why I'm doing commentary and not playing in any of these. Alright, so Mace will go lost, not get stacked. I think that's only once per turn. Mace and his Saber will go lost. It is not once per turn, so choosing not to stack Mace. Silverglen facing down 15 more attrition. There goes 6 more. That's Tarkin. That satisfies all of his attrition. Now he's down to 9 battle damage. Excuse me, I misspoke earlier. So I can see him losing, say, who's left? I mean, Callus, Navarre, and this guy, Vandalay. So Vandalay goes for 6 more. And then I can see peeling 3 here. We know he lost his second copy of Callus already. Alright, so he does peel the 3. Stalker from hand, Enter the Bureaucrat from hand, and Death Squadron assignment from reserve deck. Life counts 23 for Silverglen with 3 in hand, 24 for Joker King with 4 in hand. Alright, so Silverglen's got 3 5s in a row, which could be useful. He just can't activate to them. So he's going to activate 11 Force here this turn and Force Drain for 2 at Bespin. Joker King losing Mace Windu and Speak with the Jedi Council, both from reserve deck. Vengeance comes down to Kashyyyk. Left on the walker is General Navarre and Agent Callus. Alright, so Silverglen shuffles up those 3 5s. Not useful at the moment. Probably gonna have to go ahead and retreat here, back to a docking bay. But we'll be facing down a drain of 3 now. 2 sabers are gone, so 3. Does move back to the Executor docking bay. This is going to be tough for him, right? Because if he doesn't have another Battleground site, which most likely he doesn't, he's going to end up paying to drain at Bespin, paying to drain for only 1 at Kashyyyk, all while eating 3 damage a turn until he can find some reinforcements. And only a 2-card hand for Silverglen, so that's probably a turn or 2 away. 2 or 3 turns away, maybe. Retrieves Treatum. Shuttles Ozzel over to the Walker as well. Draws a couple cards. Still only 4 in hand, though. Has a Death Squadron assignment to go grab something. What could be left at this point? Maybe Stalker's in there, but we saw Stalker go off the top. If he had lost Ozzel, he could have retrieved Ozzel, but Ozzel was in space. There's something in there. Oh, Captain Jonas. I didn't know he had Death Squadron. Look at that. Served with Death Squadron. Captain Jonas, a good, let's retrieve this guy and grab him with Death Squadron assignments and then throw him lost again guy. Alright, so Joker King activating 15, I believe. Paying 3 to drain for 3 out of the docking bay. Silverglen losing, we must accelerate our plans from hand. They must never again leave the city from reserve deck, and an imbalance from reserve deck. Now Joker King peeking at 2 cards with Quimunning, with General Kenobi stacked there too. Both are 3 a turn. Joker King's up a couple cards and has to pay less to do 3 a turn. But Silverglen gets to retrieve 1 as well. Down comes General Leia for 4 force. Looks for something presumably with Sator, doesn't find it, so no gun. Now, what'll be interesting to me is if Joker King has any space. He can try to dig for that a little bit. Not at the expense of, drawing too many cards, because you still want to win by a decent amount if you think you're going to win. But that Lone Vengeance is just sitting there and is not immune to anything, so anything up there. You're going to have to figure out which arm. I mean, generally it's white. I don't know. It's got some writing on it. Alright, so Joker King just playing Leia. Drawing a couple cards, throwing back Hear Me Baby to get Aim High out. He's drawing a decent amount of cards, so he's drawn 4 or 5 at this point, including with Rey. So 18 in life force, 7 in hand to end that turn. Alright, so Silverglen's turn is going to activate 12. We'll pay 3 to drain for 2, but that gets canceled by control combo. And then we'll pay 3 to drain for 3 at Kashyyyk, though Joker King will only lose 1. It is a Luke Last Jedi from hand. I believe his 4th Luke to go off to go into the lost pile. 5th Luke, 4th Luke, 3rd Luke. 3rd Luke in the lost pile. 1 on tape. Alright, still has 7 force active. Alright, so people are getting off the walker. And back on the walker. Alright, so Ozzel will get back on the walker and pilot. Navarre and Callus will go to the Death Star 2 docking bay to allow Silverglen to activate some extra force next turn, up to 14 activation from 12. We'll be able to retrieve a force this turn. Another interesting thing will be to see if Silverglen can find somebody that can go to the Council Chamber or maybe Boss Nass Chambers. Less likely Boss Nass Chambers. But the Council Chamber to go drain for 3. We saw Yoda go off the top in one of those senses, so that's not going to be a thing. I would guess he only plays the one Battleground docking bay, yes. Alright, so retrieves. Elarn. Drew 2 cards. Saved 1. So 16 on life force, 8 in hand for Silverglen at the end of that turn. Joker King's turn, he'll activate 12. Gonna do the peak thing with Quimunning. The Qui-Gon can't play Rebels, right? Is that what it is? You may not deploy Rebels. So just thinking about different outs that there might be. Silverglen has like a spy, could end up over at the Death Star docking bay. Maybe not the best thing to do, but certainly an option. He's gonna drain. He's gonna pay 3 to drain for 3 here. Silverglen losing from hand. They must never again leave this city, and Imperial Command, and then an Imperial Command from reserve deck as well. So Luke checking the reserve deck. I don't really think Joker King has to do much here. He's doing a drain of 3, which is offset by 1 retrieval. But he controls the battleground site, so maybe he's looking for a ship. Maybe a spy. Maybe the Theed Palace generator. So he pulls the generator with the Qui-Gon site. Down comes BB-8. I wouldn't be surprised to see Rose. So if he is going to split up here, I think you move Rey, Chewie, Solo into the generator. Maybe not Chewie. Maybe Rey, Solo, Leia. That way you're able to contest the walker at the docking bay still. That walkling was not correct. So places walking out of play to retrieve 1. But BB-8 does not occupy a site, so that's not going to do anything. So, small mistake. Should have waited until he moved whoever he's moving over to the generator. So, Leia. Just Leia. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. Silverglen playing I Can't Shake Him just to put it back, but it ends up getting grabbed. Silverglen not yet grabbing anything from jokerking. Jokerking drawing more cards now. So draws 2 more. Ends that turn with 12 life force, 8 in hand. I think I would have moved at least one more person over. I don't think that it's going to matter. I just want that peace of mind. I know you can shoot somebody with Leia, like he's very unlikely to attack the 2-2. But you just set yourself up better if you move, say, Padme even, over there. Alright, so Silverglen activating 13. Pays 3 to drain for 2 at Bespin. Jokerking losing Speak with the Jedi Council and Wisa got a Grand Army, both from hand. Silverglen checking his deck, finding nothing. Knows what that one card is now. 5 force here for Blizzard 4. Has a trample to trample Chewie. Especially with Jokerking having just grabbed I Can't Shake Him. That's pretty good. Just has to know. I mean, he knows what it is, right? So he's seen it. That will bring out a sense. So the sense will go through. Drawing a 1 for Destiny. Oh, okay. Jedi Lev Anakin into hand. Jedi Lev gets grabbed. I still think the sense will go through. I don't think there's another 7 in the deck. For luck. So sense will go through. Trample will be cancelled, but it will still go to use pile because of oppressive. Jokerking will lose 2 force, losing a blaster deflection from hand and an Odin from hand. And then the sense as well. Yeah, There's No Tries caused, what, 4 force loss so far this game? Maybe 6? I think it's just 4. Still. Alright, so people move back from the Death Star 2 docking bay to the Executor docking bay. Everybody loads up on Blizzard 8. And everybody's probably coming to the Spaceport docking bay. So Jokerking's going to have a 4 on the bottom of his deck. He's going to need 3 force to pay to drain for 2 with Leia, a force to battle if he doesn't deploy Anakin, and a force to retrieve with Leia. No, he won't need that force to retrieve with Leia. So that's what? 3 to drain, 1 to battle. There comes Wisa down, so now his bottom 2 cards will be 4-5. Interestingly, everybody got out of the Walker, so trading some forfeit for power here. Here's an Accelerate, so it's the time for used interrupts to be played. So Joker King is going to have 9 force in his reserve. If he wants to do everything, he's going to spend 6 of those for weapons, 2 of those for Battle Destiny, and 1 for Padme to add. But I imagine he will forego maybe 1 weapon swing and activate 2 more. He activated 3. Okay. So 3 leaves him the ability to swing twice and draw 2 destiny. So BB-8 here will ping for 1. Silverglen losing the bridge from hand. There's an argument here, I guess, for, using that 5 to deploy Anakin, 6 to deploy Anakin. You would initiate battle for free. Silverglen does not have I Can't Shake Him, so it effectively adds 2 to your Battle Destinies here. Or your Battle Destiny total, excuse me. Probably not what I would have done. But I also argued to move more people away, so. Alright, so with Anakin, now it's 31 power to 24 power. Both sides draw on 2 destiny. Joker King retrieving 1 with Leia when he initiates, as well as having multiple weapons here. Kind of got to figure out what he wants to do, right? So, a couple things to consider. He's got 1 card in hand, so I don't know what it is, but he may not want to trade it with Luke's Bionic Hand for anything that's in the lost pile. Like something like Clash right now doesn't help you. Even something like Sorry About the Mess isn't super great at this point, because you're trading, 2 cards to make somebody lost? Whatever, just make him 4-0. Yeah, so we'll see if he does that. We've got a swing at Ozzel, drawing a 4 and a 5. So Ozzel will be hit and forfeit 0. Command from Silverglen's side to add a Battle Destiny. So he's now drawing 3. Alright, another Saber Swing. This time at Navarre. There's a mess. And as long as this isn't a 0. Now a 7. Okay, there were more 7s in there. Relatively unprotected. So Navarre will be forfeit 0 also. And we know Joker King's Battle Destinies are 4-5. So that's going to be, 9, 10, 11 with Anakin, 12 with Rey. 12 is not quite enough to clear everything. So 6-5 with 11. Rey makes it 12. I don't think anything else adds to it. But a total power of 43. Joker King drawing 3 destinies, or excuse me, Silverglen drawing 3 destinies. The first 5 will get redrawn by Luke. So an Accelerate for 5. Trample for 4. And I think this next one is the other Accelerate you put back. No, Force Push. Still good. So 14 total Battle Destiny from Silverglen. So the difference is going to be attrition. So 14 to lose for Joker King. I think Anakin is an easy loss, and it's potentially Solo. I keep trying to get rid of Solo. I could see it being Padme at this point. But I don't know. It's all tough. They're all very good characters. I think Anakin's the easy answer, though. Alright, so Padme goes first for 7. Navarre goes for 0. Anakin goes for 8, so that satisfies all 14. Ozzel goes for 0. So still 12 attrition to go for Silverglen. Blizzard 8 covers 7, Blizzard 4 covers 5, so it looks like that's what he's going to choose here. So he will satisfy battle order this turn, battle plan, excuse me, and will be able to drain for free. So Joker King with 13 cards in life force, 1 card in hand to end that turn. Silverglen activating 13, which is all but a 1. That's also all he can do, so we'll get drains of 2 and 1 here. Joker King going to lose 4 luck. Grand Army, both from reserve deck. We knew both of those. And then relatively unprotected as well. So his top card is currently a 2. They both know the card in Silverglen's reserve now. Alright, interesting scenarios here, right? So depending on what Silverglen has in his hand, he may end up choosing to sit in front of a Leia. And take his chances with the gun. But the top card of Joker King's reserve right now is Sorry About the Mess combo. So if he were to draw that with Rey, he could take out multiple people. He could also just move Callus to the Boss Nast Chambers. Hope that 1 card in Joker King's hand isn't a character capable of drawing Destiny. And then he can at least get some of the forces to split up for a turn and maybe save himself a turn or 2 there. He's not going to get to draining because something like Luke would move over, but or if he has another character, he could just throw somebody to the Jedi Council Chamber. And I hope he sticks, and I hope he still has 9 cards when it's his turn, which he's going to do. Alright, so Jonas to the Council Chamber, 2 force. Vader also to the Council Chamber, so Vader will probably stick. Restraining Bolt for BB-8 will save him 1 damage a turn. Force to move Callus to the docking bay, where he is effectively safe. 1 force to retrieve an ISB agent. So a very good turn for Silverglen here. The only problem with that is that he's going to end up taking 5 damage now. Alright, so we're doing end of game math. I hate end of game math. I'm so bad at it. Alright, so Silverglen with 14 in Life Force, 13 now in Life Force, 3 in hand. He's going to take 5. So that's what, 11 left total. So he does have enough to drain for 2, 1, and 3 twice. Once. After that, it gets a little more dicey. while Joker King has 10, so he's going to pay 3 and pay 3 to drain for 3 and 2. Will not have enough force to move anywhere else or add any more to those drains. So he's going to take 3, 4, 5, 6 on his turn, so he's going to leave himself with 5 total, because he has 1 in hand still. Alright, so 5 force lost were Force Push, Death Squadron assignments, both from hand, Lord Maul, Vandalay, and Accelerate from deck. Peek at 2 cards, take 1 with Ray, potentially. So I think, actually, that 1 force that he did not get with Walkling is going to hurt him, because otherwise he would be able to drain twice for 2 more turns. But now it's only going to be 1 more turn. So leaving 6 and 3 in life force and 2 in hand. Silverglen with 10 total in life force, 1 in hand. His turn's just going to be to pay to drain, so he's going to drain for drain for 2 at Bespin, drain for 1 at Kashyyyk, and then drain for 3 at the Jedi Council Chamber. So I think Silverglen is going to take this one, because once his drain, he's only going to be able to do 2 drains next turn. That's going to be 3 and 2. And that should put him, that should put Joker King down under 3 force, so he'll have to draw up. Alright, so cards lost. Sorry about the mess. Rebel Leadership, Nabrin, Free Ride combo, and I don't like sand. So down to 5 cards now. I think I did my math wrong. So only able to drain for 3 next turn. But Joker King's going to get an extra turn of retrieval in too. So at the end of this turn, Silverglen will retrieve a card with ISB. That will give him 11 in life force, 1 in hand. He's going to have to take 3 damage. Okay, so Joker King putting Virgins back to draw 2 cards from reserve deck. He did check them beforehand, so I wonder if there was something in there he was looking for. Maybe something like a Voyeur that he can loop real quick a couple times. Cause some extra damage. Peeking at cards with Quimunning. Turn who goes to the passenger capacity. Interesting. Silverglen retrieves 1, so 11 in life force, 1 in hand at the end of his turn. Joker King with 4 total will pay 3 to drain for 3. So Silverglen by 9. Potentially. Alright, so losing 3. Colonel Wolf from hand, Navarre from reserve deck, and mystery card. Accelerate from reserve deck. No cards in hand now for Silverglen. Joker King just recirculating. Alright, so Silverglen here will activate 9 on his turn. He can do a thing where he drains for 2. Or 3 even. Let's see what Joker King loses. So leaves him with 1 card. Oh, I guess he's raised then. Yeah, okay. Thought he was going to be able to do a thing where he could retrieve a guy, but he can't. So, Silverglen wins this game by 9. That's not how I saw that going in the early mid-game here. But certainly played very well. Found what he needed at the right time. Was able to have some key cards like Restraining Bolt and There's No Try, really. Keep him in that game. So it looks like 9 in reserve, 31 in lost pile, 234 in lost pile. They're playing game 2 tomorrow at the same time. I think Dan's going to cover that one actually on the main PC channel. And then later tonight, I believe Dan is also covering game 2 of Matt Harrison Trainer and Charlie Arlinson. That starts in just under 3 hours or so, I believe, at 9 p.m. Eastern. So I invite you to come watch Dan stream some of those games and to check back in next time I stream. Thank you guys for joining me for stream. Have a good night.